I know the feeling all too well. You see a flashy gaming laptop advertised for half the price, you click buy, and a week later you're wrestling with frame drops, overheating, and a screen that can't keep up with the games you love. That regret is why I'm extra cautious before I splash cash on a high-end rig. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Today we're looking at the MSI Titan 18HX, a machine that promises AI-powered performance and a 240Hz mini-LED display, and we'll see if it actually feels like a smarter purchase compared to those budget runaway alternatives. First off, the Titan 18 lives in a category that's basically the holy grail for desktop-class gaming on the go, 18-inch, for plus resolution, a desktop-grade GPU, and a CPU that's marketed as the top of Intel's Ultra line. The headline specs can make anyone's eyes glaze over, but the real question is how the laptop behaves once you're actually sitting at a desk or on a couch, swapping between a marathon of Cyberpunk 2077 and a long-haul video editing session. If you're the type of gamer who refuses to compromise on visual fidelity, the 240Hz mini-LED panel is the most immediate win. In practice, that means you can push 1440p or even 4K titles to very high frame rates without the dreaded motion blur that plagues lower refresh panels. I ran Shadow of the Tomb Raider on Ultra settings, and the game stayed comfortably above 120 frames per second, which is rare for a laptop that isn't a desktop replacement. The mini-LED tech also gives you deeper blacks and more consistent brightness across the screen, which you'll notice in dark, atmospheric games where color banding can ruin immersion. That said, the display's brilliance comes with a trade-off you might not expect: power consumption. Running at 240 Hz and 4K simultaneously pushes the power draw to near the limits of the 280W adapter that ships with the Titan. In real-world terms, you'll see the battery drain from full to empty in roughly 2 hours if you're gaming non-stop. For most people, that isn't a problem because the machine is designed to stay plugged in during serious sessions, but if you're looking for a laptop you can take to a coffee shop and game for an hour, you'll need to accept that you'll be tethered to the wall. The CPU, an Intel Ultra 9290HX, is a beast for multitasking. It handles the usual gaming load with ease, but its real advantage shines when you layer other heavy workloads. Imagine you're streaming on Twitch, editing the footage on the fly, and keeping Discord chat open all while the game is still running. The 64GB of DDR5 RAM ensures there's never a bottleneck, and the 4TB NVMe SSD gives you lightning-fast load times and enough space for a sprawling game library. In my own workflow, launching Control took under 5 seconds from the desktop, and swapping between a game and Premiere Pro felt seamless, which is something you rarely see on laptops that try to cram desktop-grade specs into a thin chassis. Now, let's talk about the AI-powered performance claim. MSI's software uses machine learning to balance power delivery between the CPU and GPU based on what you're doing. In everyday use, you'll notice that the fan noise is lower when you're just browsing or watching movies, and it ramps up only when you enter a demanding scene in a game. That adaptive approach keeps the laptop quieter than many competitors that run the fans at a constant high speed. However, the algorithm isn't perfect. During a sudden spike in workload like an unexpected boss fight, the system can briefly lag before the fan kicks in, resulting in a short, audible whine. If you need absolute silence for recording voiceovers, you might still have to manually dial down the performance profile. Connectivity is another area where the Titan 18 tries to future-proof you. Thunderbolt 5 and Wi-Fi 7 are built-in, meaning you can hook up a 4K monitor with a single cable and expect ultra-low latency, or enjoy a wireless connection that's noticeably faster than the Wi-Fi 6 routers most people still use. In practice, I paired the laptop with a 4K 144Hz external monitor and the experience was buttery smooth, with no perceptible lag. The Wi-Fi 7 link gave me stable 1 gigabit per second speeds during a large file transfer, which is a nice bonus if you're downloading game patches or uploading streams. So who should actually consider spending upwards of $5,000 on this machine? If you're a professional content creator who needs a portable workstation that can handle 8K video editing, complex 3D rendering, and high frame rate gaming without compromising on any front, the Titan 18 is a compelling option. It also fits serious esports athletes who demand the absolute highest refresh rates and want to keep their rig as close to a desktop as possible while traveling to tournaments. For gamers who value raw pixel density and want a future-proof GPU that can run the next generation of titles at max settings, this laptop delivers that promise. On the flip side, if you're a casual gamer who's happy with 1080p or 1440p and doesn't need a massive amount of